PowerPoint going. A year ago, I had not even, I could barely spell Zoom. I've learned a lot in the past 49 and a half weeks at home. So thanks very much. I really just want to give kind of an update on the projects that we've been working on with the cooperation of all the vineyard growers, as well as the Wine Commission support, to put together a what I call the vineyard and vineyard weather information network and environmental system, or VWines. You got to have an acronym someplace in here. And kind of giving you an update on the current project, which is coming to a sunset here pretty quickly, as well as to maybe look at something for the next stage of where we go with this network. So a bit of background. We started this project, several of us started the project. Ron Bittner was key in it, and Jay Japrakash from Micron, all were key in this project starting in 2015, where we installed the first set of 10 stations in Sunny Slope vineyards. Really, we had identified, working with some of the growers, that there was a gap in data, gap in real-time data, as well as just vineyard-specific data in the region. And going on to Greg's thing, in a question that Jim asked, how do we get back to a cool phase? Well, I don't think we're going to get there anytime soon, and we're going to heading into warmer warmer temperatures. So to be able to know where we're going, or how to compare it to, we need to know where we've been. And so this is kind of this project was really the first step in getting a good baseline set of data, climate data for vineyards. And it's really one of the early, from a bigger vineyard-specific data sets for vineyards, or for weather stations in the Northwest, or I hope to be it anyway, eventually. It kind of takes the guesswork, a little bit of the guesswork out about what's going on in the vineyard. We set up 10 stations across the Sunny Slope, ranging everywhere from Indian Creek out to the Reno Valley vineyard initially. This is in 2015, 2016, and 17. And this is a photo of actually our very first installation at Hat Ranch. And we've kind of come a bit a long way from this one particular point, where we've from this point on, every other vineyard station was put into a vine row, so we could actually get the canopy and conditions in the row itself. Every station is similar. You have the anemometer, you have solar radiation, you have temperature, relative humidity, vapor pressure, and barometric pressure as well as several sensors below the ground that have soil temperature and soil moisture. These kind of measure it at depths of about 10 to 20 inches. The soil water capacity, volumetric water capacity of the soil. It helps with irrigation decisions, and just kind of follow the trend and see how well the soils are holding water and what kind of water needs there are. The current project is spun off of this, and it's similar to this, but it was put forward to recognize and include the new AVAs in the state since that first project went through. So we have stations now in Lewis-Clark Valley, Eagle Foothills, as well as to recognize the diversity of terroir in those areas. Those are different from Sunny Slope in many ways, similar but also very different. You want to get data on the web so that it makes it easier to use for the growers, as well as just the general public or anybody who's interested in growing grapes in Idaho. What's the weather conditions like? We want to add to the existing Sunny Slope, because we've had a lot of vine growth out in Sunny Slope new vineyards planted, and so we expanded a few more stations out in the Sunny Slope area. I had plans to get out into the eastern Snake River Valley, but pandemic, so that's going to be on either a third stage or intermediate stage to get a few stations up in the upper in the eastern Snake River Valley. All the stations as part of this were upgraded to a new data logger. The little white box here is a data logger. This is where everything is stored. This is your small little computer and processor, as well as a cell phone. Again, same things: anemometer, solar radiation, and we have the temperature sensors are all in the canopy height. So you actually, when you're getting growing degree days, you're actually getting and vapor pressure and relative humidity. You're getting them in the canopy itself. So that it's a more specific, directed measurement of what's happening in the vine row itself. The new stations are also a little more self-supporting. They all have solar power, solar charging for the batteries. So the vineyard owners had to get emails from me asking them to go out and change the batteries. And the batteries last a lot longer too. So again, the same instrumentation. This is what is this planting? This is the new planting up in Rivora, up in Lewis-Clark Valley. Again, just kind of showing the setup at the end of the vine row, but still the canopy height sensor. The current state of the system is that I've pretty much got all the ones in that I have to put in. The instrumentation has been utilized. I have a couple of extra loggers, but I don't have the weather station part to go into it. We have 5 stations up in the Lewis-Clark Valley, everything from Rivera up here in the upstream down to Clearwater Canyon and Lindsay Creek, and a couple of other smaller vineyards. Again, representing, trying to capture the diversity of conditions and diversity of sites in an area to get a better picture for the weather and climate conditions in those areas. We have 3 in the Eagle Foothills, at Three Horse Ranch, and Finca Besada, and then the DuDewald Ranch vineyard sites, as well as now 14 sites established in the Snake River Valley AVA, everything from Emerald Slopes and Tim Martin's place on down to Rock Spur, two of the newer sites. And as a geomorphologist and geologist, they're also pretty rocking in terms of the geology and geomorphology that's there. And we have 1 test station that's active in the north end, where I do a test bed to make sure the instrumentation is working before I put it out in the field. Going back to one of the objectives was to get the data out on the web so that it can be usable and accessible fairly easily by the public as well as by the growers. And the growers really know that's why it's there. I have the cloud source where we're putting all the data is through Meter Environmental. They're a company out of Pullman. It's started up by a former professor of soil physics and soils at Wazoo, and has really developed a really nice set of soil and agricultural instrumentation for soils as well as weather stations. And so they have a cloud computing source where we can upload everything data is uploaded every 15 minutes, or sampled every 15 minutes and uploaded every hour. And let's see, there we go. And here's the log ID for zentrocloud.com. Oh, go back. Zentrocloud.com is the website, and then you have the public user ID to log into it is Idaho Vineyard Weather at Gmail, and then the public password is what you see there. These the stations are when you log into it, the stations will be visible on the map. You have the cluster down here in the Snake River Valley and Eagle Foothills, as well as Lewis Clark Valley, showing you the geographic dispersal of these sites. Come on, where does it go? There we go. You have, when you click on the main one, if you want to see an individual station, just click on the station icon, and it will give you the last 24 hours of data. If you were to scroll down, you would see all the data, all the different instrumentation for that site for the last 24 hours or whatever the last reporting was. Hopefully in the last 24 hours when they're all active. You can then go and have a station by station data viewing, where if you click on the icon over on the menu bar, you can get for that weather station, you can get all of a longer time period. This is for the previous week, showing you the in this case the soil temperature going down for the past couple of days, and this is at Clear Rock Canyon, I believe. Both the deeper as well as the shallow depth sensors. You have air temperature, kind of trending down as well. So this kind of gives you the longer term trends of those things, including soil moisture. Growing degree days are not calculated here. This is just the straight data itself. If you have if you want to look at some models and the more detailed stuff, the meter site has a really good set of models accessible through this icon. Here you have, or you can make custom graphs showing multiple data sets. Here's a Vintner's vineyard site showing you the soil temperature data over the past year. Shows you the air temperature data on daily basis, again, sample that every 15 minutes over the past year, and then vapor pressure data. This is over a 12-month period. You may not necessarily need to do it. It also has pretty good statistics in terms of max and min for the period of time you're looking at. It got pretty toasty this past summer in some parts. Average temperature, average soil temperatures. Things that you need to have. It also has where you can create custom environmental models. In this case, you can have soil, water, or other models. This is the growing degree day calculator and model, and essentially uses the 50-degree base and a 95-degree cap, 10 degrees C and 35-degree C respectively, and it shows the daily accumulation here along the x-axis. Each of these are just daily accumulations of growing degree day, which is, if you want a particular day, that's fine, but it doesn't really show you what's how it's accumulating over time. It's a kind of a strange graphic, and I've been trying to figure out how to relay that to the meter people to get this a little more improved. They do give you a cumulative total here. So for the past year, this is a base 10 degrees C value. Multiply it by 1.8, and you get about 3,500, 3,600 degree days at Vintner's for the past year. If you need to download the data just for that window, there's download icons here to download it. And when you do download the cumulative growing degree days, it actually gives you a pretty good Excel spreadsheet that allows you to then make your own graphs. So here downloaded data from the past year. from April 1st through November 1st, October 31st, the growing degree day accumulations over time for three different sites. I have the Williamson, the new Homestead site in Williamson. I have the Clearwater Canyon in orange, and then I have Finca Basada, which is over in Eagle Foothills, showing you the three different sets of growing degree days. I've also gone ahead and worked them over to traditional growing degree days and using Fahrenheit over here. So yeah, 3,500, 3,800, showing you differences in climate and growing degree accumulation over time for this vast growing season. You can download all the data if you're a data geek, and I know some people are. You can download all the data and play with it. If you can have your own models, you can graph it yourself, and it's easy to do. If you wanted to do it for the whole AVA, you could definitely go download all of it. It takes a while, just kind of as a heads up. You can download just since the last data download. You can download a particular period of time, depending on what the individual needs are for these things. Again, keep in mind these are large data sets, because if you get the full data set, you're getting 4 times an hour times 24 times a day over a year. It's a lot of rows and columns to deal with in a spreadsheet. Just kind of future plans for this project. The project ends in June. We haven't had an extension because of the pandemic to carry out through the end of June. The last deliverables we're working on right now, we just contracted with a programmer who's going to create a frost alert that's going to be put out it's going to be tied into the Wazoo website, which should be available not just for us, but also for anybody using the Wazoo site. This is also in part supporting the Wazoo, the AgWeatherNet site that's going to host, that is hosting, but it will host in a more accessible way, all the different sites. Currently, if you look at it, go to the Wazoo site, these aren't necessarily visible in the public, but they're out there already. There's another login, but it doesn't show you as much information as the meter site. Eventually, this will be a fully mirrored site to what the data is on the meter, and you won't need a login. But again, the sites up in Lewiston, the sites down in the Eagle Foothills and Sunny Slope area all show up as active stations. Beyond this current project, we're already planning to look at submitting another specialty crop block grant for the next cycle. This one would further upgrade all the instrumentation to a single station that would get weather, solar radiation, precip, and wind and temperature, as well as get some improved soil moisture sensors that show you the soil water potential, not just the capacity. And it kind of gives you a little bit better idea of the stresses that are involved in the soil for plant water stress. And so this will get us up to speed and put us more in line with the data rigor that's needed for the Wazoo modeling capabilities, which will then continue to use. They use our data already, but they're going to continue to use our data to help provide their regional climate and forecasting models for vineyard activities and agricultural activities in the Northwest. So we're becoming more and more of a component of that. We'll have 22 stations, hopefully maybe even up to 25 by that time, that will be contributing to the Northwest network. So that this time, I guess I'll open up to any questions. My new field hand here. Let's see, Jake from Skyline. Currently, no. Jake said, are you not able to display a cumulative growing degree day trend line with the data without having to download the data? And let's see. It's essentially, yeah, we can't, or they can't. They don't have the capability. They haven't. I'm asking them to do it, but they have not put that in there. They used to. They actually had it, and they took it off. Kind of frustrating. I'm not sure what else, how else to address it. But it took me about 5 minutes to download it and put it into an Excel to do the graph. It really was pretty simple. Are there other, let's see, what company's weather station equipment did you use? So the meter stations are coming, the Davis Cup anemometer. I don't have a whole lot of precip stations right now because they just accumulate dust and tumbleweed. So the new stations don't have those. We're more interested in instrumentation in the moisture in the ground, not how much is actually falling in terms of rainfall. The new stations would have that capability. And then the temperature sensors, I believe that they actually are from meter and from what used to be called decagon sensors. Let's see, if somebody wants a weather station at their venue, what do they need to do? Right now, I can provide you the information with what stations we have and what the instrumentation is, and give you the contact to the to meter to order them. I can help you. I can give you some advice and consultation, consult with you about how to install them. But we don't have any more funding right now to install, to buy new instrumentation to install. Each station, if you were to do it now, the stations would cost you, because the new technology has all of this in a single instrument, actually in this too, in a single instrument that runs $1,800 for a single station, plus a data logger, which runs about $700, I believe. And then you have the 2 soil moisture sensors below, would run about $400 total. And it is cell-based, yes, but the cellular base is a subscription service. The first year is free. After that, it's about $165 a year for whatever data you send out there. You need to have either a T-Mobile or an AT&T line to access it. The Rivara site has an interesting twist where they have T-Mobile, but it's delivered through a third party, and so the SIM card doesn't work. But I'm working on a solution with Meter to get a different SIM card for them. Yes, Jake, with the station's data being imported into the AgWeatherNet, we'll be able to use the Wazoo's data tools. That's my understanding, yes. We're helping them develop the tools through the project. And we've been assured that they would be allowed, that anybody could be able to use it, use those same tools, who's contributing data to them. So that should take care of that. I think one of the ones we're working on right now is a good powdery mildew, or improving the powdery mildew one and putting it more towards vineyards, in addition to the frost alert that we're putting in place. Other questions?
Give a few more minutes of awkward silence if anyone has any more questions.
This is Zoom. This is everybody. Yeah.
I know.
when you don't want to be heard, you're heard because of something in the background. But when you
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for giving this update. We really, really appreciate it, and all your work for our industry. Oh, it looks like
Okay. We help with additional installations. When I submit the proposal, I'll come to the industry for letters of support, and as well as contacts for people who have vineyards that where we can put these in. I guess there can be some decisions going down the road in terms of sustainability of the data sets and making sure that there's a budget item somehow to. I know Maya and the Wine Commission staff have been very good about looking towards this. Coming down the road, though, it'll be about if the support for all the stations is about $3,500 a year for all the data, and so we're working to just kind of keep that in the back of our heads. The projects or my department have been able to cover this up to this point. And if we get another grant, then that will hopefully will cover it for another 2 years. So we can hopefully keep on kicking this can down the road. And there's canned wine, so that's a good thing. Down the road until we get a full sustainability plan in place for maintaining and managing the data. I went with Wazoo's data site and Meter's data site rather than one at Boise State because I've learned from watching other people do it that when you start developing a web page and with data and everything else, you spend all your time then maintaining that, and that's not really kind of my bailiwick or really my interest. I like having the turnkey ones that are available already. So if we can keep on maintaining and using those established sites, that's my goal.
Wonderful. And we'll at the Wine Commission make sure this continues to happen too, one way or another.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for your presentation. We really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, attendees, it looks like we're still running a little ahead of schedule. So let's go ahead and take another coffee break or restroom break, and we'll come back at 9:45. So take another 15-minute break, and then we'll hear from Tara and Michael of Wine America.